Evening folks, this is BestInSlot with some potentially very exciting Jurassic World Evolution news, all concerning this image we've had access to now for 5 days. This is the image from the feature focus that Frontier did earlier on this week. They did a whole forum post highlighting the upcoming terrain tools, the new shrubbery, the placement of rocks and stuff like that. And just before we get started, I do want to point this out right here. Hiding behind these trees is definitely what appears to be a couple of rocks, right? I don't know how I didn't see these in the original image, but there's like a mound sort of thing there, and there's one here as well. So those could well be our first look at the actual rock tools. They also potentially look like piles of dung, which would actually be quite an exciting feature, but I'm going to go ahead and say that's probably a rock feature or some description. Anyways, the thing we're going to focus on in this video is right here at the back. Let's bring up a closer image of that. That is the monorail entrance into your island. Every single park in the game has a monorail entrance that looks something like that. I'll give you a better shot of it. It's this curvy, high-tech looking thing that kind of typically comes out of a mountain and magically brings your guests. And then they go further into the park, and then you've got your typical monorail entrance thingy, and they walk out of that into your park. So this isn't something you can really do anything with. It's locked off. On some islands you can't even see this, on some islands you can, and some islands, even with the NVIDIA ISLA camera, the free camera, you cannot get behind the mountain to look at this thing. So it's not really, it's an immovable object, is the point I'm trying to make here. And what we're going to do today, very quickly, is show that this island right here, with that monorail entrance in that position, is not found anywhere else in Jurassic World Evolution. In our versions of Jurassic World Evolution, this island does not exist. This is a brand new island, and we're going to prove that. So, just before we move on, let's look at this image right here and just kind of pick out the key details. So we've got our monorail entrance, it comes in, ow! Now somewhere along this line is where you would have your park gates. So it comes out of the mountain, it goes along, it goes through the park gates, and then it goes to your monorail entrance, and everyone exits out into your park. It's worth noting that the park gate is simply not here, it's further along, it's a long line until you get there. We also have a waterfall to the top left, and we have what looks like the rock sort of texture, shaly kind of texture, just above it, very close above it. And also worth keeping in mind the general height. You know, this is a big, impressive mountain right above it, and very sort of straight lined as well in this sort of area. You know, that's... yeah, there you go. Beautiful professional image right there. But the point is, it's just worth keeping in mind these key features as we go through. I've gone and personally taken a screenshot of every single island in the game to prove this point. So, ISLA NUBLAR. ISLA NUBLAR is one of the ones, this is the other, so this is what I mean by the monorail entrance. So it goes from this entrance along a line through a park gate, out here into this entrance. That's how the system works. And ISLA NUBLAR is one of the ones where you cannot see this anywhere. It's off behind the mountain somewhere. Even with the NVIDIA ISLA camera, the game just blocks you off and stops you getting further. I'm sure some people have managed to go out of bounds and stuff like that, but the point is the game doesn't allow you to look at that monorail entrance. So it's not this, it's not ISLA NUBLAR. ISLA MATANCEROS is one of the more convincing ones. You know, I've been talking with people on the Planet Zoo Discord about this, oddly enough, and ISLA MATANCEROS was one of the first suggestions, but there's quite a few problems. Not only is the angle wrong, like if you were standing here looking at it, from here, which is kind of the perspective we have here, you'd be inside the mountain. That doesn't really make sense. The park gate is way closer on this one than it is here. You know, it's not there at all, whereas here it's right near the entrance. There is a waterfall, but it's kind of the wrong shape, and there's another waterfall right there, which isn't there on this one. And further to that, there's no rock texture. This texture here is not found anywhere around here, so it isn't ISLA MATANCEROS. It's not ISLA MUERTA, because it looks nothing like ISLA MUERTA. This is even the same angle, you can see the park gates there, the mountain is all wrong. It's not ISLA MUERTA East, clearly. Like, just, I don't really have anything else to say to that one. It's very clearly not ISLA MUERTA East. It's not ISLA SORNA, because there's no waterfall, there's no rock texture, the mountain shape is wrong. It's not ISLA TACANO, because you can't even see the monorail entrance on ISLA TACANO. This is about as far as the NVIDIA ISLA camera lets you go. If you followed this all the way along behind the mountain, there would be one of these hiding behind there, letting people into your park, but you can't see it in-game. Again, without breaking the game, so it's not ISLA TACANO. It's not ISLA TACANO Research Facility, because, well, I mean, just look at it, there's this just big... The mountain shape is okay, although it ducks in here, whereas this one doesn't. You know, there's this backdrop here where the mountain falls away, but there's no grass on it, there's no trees on it, there's no waterfall, there's nothing really that similar. It's not ISLA PENA, because ISLA PENA is barely a mountain. And, yeah, feel free to pause on any of those images to double check them. Now that alone doesn't necessarily prove, I mean in my opinion it does, but that alone doesn't necessarily prove we're getting a new island. The other alternative, and I do believe these are the only two options, if anyone's got an alternative, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. In my opinion, there's only two options here. A is that it is a brand new island. That is definitely the direction I lean. The other option is that we're going to be given the ability to move the park entrance somewhat. That seems unlikely to me. I think that would cause a lot of issues. I don't think it's a feature people particularly have asked for or need. I don't think it would really add anything to the game. Don't get me wrong, being able to edit this line in general and change how it comes into our parks would be pretty cool. But the moving of this right here, the moving of that specifically, that specifically, just really wouldn't be that important. It doesn't feel like a big deal. It doesn't feel like anything that people have been requesting. It would be a very odd thing to add. And further to that, the people who showed me this, again, thanks for the Planetary Discord, have gone and looked at every single island, not just the monorail entrances like I did, but all over the island, and could not find a single angle or shot that matches what we're looking at right here. It can't be done on any of the islands. This is a big island. If you look at the distance between the entrance over there and this whole, I mean, you can clearly build over here because there's a river there and it drops down there, and there's trees and there's like a fence over there on the left, and this is a big island, it really is. This based just on this image and given the lack of obstruction in the way, we're talking ISLA, NUBLAR or bust in my opinion, in terms of the sheer mass amount of space accessible. So, since it clearly isn't ISLA NUBLAR, I just can't see anything other than this being a new island, which would of course make a lot of sense. There were leaks recently, and I say the word leaks in inverted commas, but there were leaks recently that suggested that Sanctuary Island was going to be part of an upcoming update. Again, even if this is true, I'm not going to admit the leak is true, okay? That will not be the case, because again, this was a fairly logical assumption. But it is getting more compelling. If we get a Claire Deering DLC with some paleobotany, then I'll believe it, let's put it that way. But the point is, Sanctuary Island makes a lot of sense. You can't see it here, but behind here there's this sort of plain, there's sort of a wider area of grass where you could feasibly build a really nice big park. And park sizes are a problem. We've been saying for a long time that we need more park space to build in. And there was a response from Frontier a while ago saying they couldn't extend the current parks because it would cause save file issues, which is kind of the issue they've been battling already with the terrain tools. There's something going on with the saves, there's something going on with the lack of memory available that is sort of limiting park building in my opinion, and it's kind of limiting how Frontier can improve the existing islands. It seems to be that if they make any real big changes to Isla Nublar and the like, then people will lose their save files, and Frontier have repeatedly said people losing their save files is something they're not willing to risk. Even if some of us are like, yeah, that's fine, just wipe everything but give us bigger islands. You know, some people definitely go in that direction. Frontier do not want to go in that direction, which is, you know, understandable completely. So the only alternative, the only other way to give us bigger islands is not to extend the current ones. It's well, you could either add a new area onto the current islands, which is definitely what this could be, or a brand new island. The point is, it's a new space to build in. I am confident, 99% sure that I can sit here and say this is a brand new island, which is really exciting. This has kind of gone under the radar a little bit. You know, people got very excited about the terrain tools, about the rocks, about the new bushes, about the individual trees. Of course they did. That's really, really cool, and I can't wait to see what that is in the coming weeks. But a new island, hopefully a bigger one than Isla Nublar. Isla Nublar's an okay size, but we need something huge if we're going to keep doing these big, elaborate parks, especially now that terrain tools are in the game. I'm going to talk for about 30 more seconds just in case for my for my 10-minute mark, I'm afraid. The perils of YouTube. But yeah, I don't know, it's really, really exciting. And the thing is, there's two more feature focuses on the way. The first one was highlighting these terrain tools. We saw tons of information. We saw new rocks going to be placed, individual trees and new trees at that, not just the existing ones. A new bush is coming into the game, and all the bushes are going to be available on all the islands. And of course, the actual terrain painting itself. That's really cool, and that's kind of what I was expecting the summer update to focus on. I did think terrain tools were on the way, but I have no idea at all what the other two feature focuses are going to be about. I'm being serious here. I could not tell you. I would have no idea. If I had to hazard a guess, then a new island like this, and then maybe some decorations, you know, benches and flags and statues and stuff like that would be my other suggestion. Those are the only two ideas I really have, other than maybe some AI updates would be nice as well. Beyond that, assuming the other two feature focuses are on the same scale as the first one, what on earth could they possibly be? A new island would be a really cool one, and I think by Tuesday, 2 days away, the next feature focus, we may well see Sanctuary Island revealed. That's just a bit of a guess. We'll see what happens, but I'm very excited either way, and hope you guys are too. If you have any doubts about this, please do let me know why. Some people always saying, oh, you're just looking too much into things, but this has been researched, this has been looked into, this has been checked. There is no island that looks like this in the game. If you can prove me wrong, please do, but I'm not seeing any evidence otherwise. So, new island. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative and didn't find myself too speculative, then please do hit the like button. I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye. Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to help support me a little bit more, you can do so at patreon.com/bestinslot. There's a link in the description down below. Every little really does help in times like these, but it's not at all expected, and by just watching the video you've already helped me out massively, and it makes you a pretty cool person, so well done you. Thanks for joining me either way, I'll see you next time.